series on the road against the Minnesota Twins. Blue Jays, winners of 3 straight series and 7 of their last 10 games, in a very different spot than they were when the Twins came to them a couple weeks ago.
So good to see the Blue Jays turning things around. Kevin Gausman going back out there tonight, and as a manager, that's what you love to see. Trey Savage is back, and George Springer is back as well.
Saw Springer return from injury yesterday, and now we will see him get his first start since he went on the injured list April 11th. And what a good landing spot for him, given what he has done in this ballpark over the course of his career. Not only in this ballpark, though, at times against this pitcher, Bailey Ober, who's crafty and taking the mound today for Minnesota.
Bailey Ober is 6 feet 9 inches tall. He's 30 years old. He's in his 6th season with the Twins. 2-1. That ERA just under 4 this season in his 6 starts. The walks are up a little bit. Not a big strikeout pitcher, but he's got at least 6 innings in each of his last 3 starts. And his last one was down in St. Petersburg against the Rays. Went 6 innings, only allowed 2 runs, but he suffers his first loss of the season. Changeup is his big pitch. Opponent's hitting just 190 against it. Defensively behind Ober tonight, Trevor Larnach making his 19th start in left field. Not DHing as much. That's what he told his manager beginning the season, and that's what he's doing. Buxton in center, Austin Martin in right. And on the infield, Royce Lewis and Brooks Lee take care of the left side. Luke Keeschall and Cody Clemens the right. And Ryan Jeffers behind the plate for Ober this evening.
Minnesota Twins beat the Blue Jays in a series when they came to Toronto a couple of weeks ago. They had a nice series after that against the Boston Red Sox, where they won that series as well. But right at the tail end of the Sox series, they started a 13-game stretch where they've gone 2-11 in their last 13 games. They are hoping certainly that Ober can help them get out of the funk.
2 teams may be going in different directions, and that's what John Schneider wants to hear. His club winning 7 of the last 10.
A very active day in the Twin Cities, with the Twins, the Timberwolves, and the Wild all playing at home tonight. Bailey Ober winds and delivers the first pitch of the day, down and away, ball 1. Get underway at 6:41 local here. It's 9 degrees, cloudy with some wind. Springer smokes one foul, 1-1. You had talked about it a little bit, Joe, a couple of minutes ago off the top of our show, but Springer brings so much back to this lineup.
I think it's just the threat, too, in that leadoff spot. And it's not just at the beginning of the game here. It's whenever that lineup turns over as a pitcher, as a catcher, you're mapping things out. You know you're getting a very dangerous hitter back up top.
Now, he was off to a little bit of a slow start before he went down, although a very small sample. So far, he's seen a lot of breaking balls from Bailey Ober, who's typically fastball changeup, but the last 2 pitches have both been sweepers. And he scorches that one to left field. George Springer is certainly back. He's on with a base hit to start the first.
Well, he's got a few different breaking balls, the slider, sweeper, and very occasional curveball. And George stayed on that slider down and away, but he stays on it just enough to line it over the head of Lee at short.
That'll get George Springer back over the Mendoza line. And he'll take his lead as Jesus Sanchez comes up.
Velocity from Bailey Ober has been down, averaging just under 89 miles per hour, and he's throwing more changeups than fastballs anymore. But you see a lot of secondary pitches from Ober tonight.
Swing and a miss. That's a good changeup. Seems to have been maybe a reaction to the depleted fastball velocity. This is the first time in his career that Ober's throwing more changeups, but he is still pretty even changeup four-seamer.
This is one of those nights that a lot of hitters you'll hear sit soft. So you're sitting soft thinking the changeup. If it's one of the breaking pitches, it's still soft, feeling like you can get to his fastball because it's not 95.
Hit hard right side. Keishall up with it. The second baseman throws to second for one, and George Springer with a bit of a takeout slide there to stop the double play. Sanchez is safe at first. Here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right now the leader in Major League Baseball in batting average, and he's also getting on base a ton, Joe. This is one of the best on-base months of his career.
He has been doing a lot of good things in the batter's box, and we keep talking about the power, but I believe the power will come for Vladdy. Just keep getting on base, getting those hits, and sooner or later some will get in the air.
Guerrero lifts this one on the infield. First baseman Cody Clemens steps in toward Ober to make the catch. And there are 2 outs. So Jesus Sanchez remains on first as the son of Roger Clemens. Cody Clemens puts away Guerrero. Bailey Ober trying to get out of this inning, and if talking about power, Joe, this guy has been providing a lot of it. Cosmo Okamoto. Swing and a miss. Another good changeup from Ober.
And you can see why it's such an effective pitch for the big right-hander. He's 6'9", and he really gets down the mound with that height. Must be a very different look coming out of his hand.
At over 7 feet of extension, where he releases the ball down the mound, he's one of the top 25 pitchers in baseball in that respect. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. You have all these machines these days, the trajects. Is there anything you think that can simulate that?
The other thing he does is the arms dropped a little bit more this season, and when it does that, it's giving you a different look as well. So it's just another additive.
Off on the pitch, Jesus Sanchez, and he will steal the bag without a throw. It's his first stolen base as a Toronto Blue Jay, and he's in scoring position, smiling as always with 2 down.
Took his shot. They perhaps might have something on Bailey Ober, anticipating the breaking ball too. Got a great jump left before he lifted his leg.
He can do that a bit. Stole over 10 bases each of the last 2 years. 2-2 is high ball 3.
But when you'd ask me that question, but can you simulate it? We've seen the Blue Jays are out early hitting again at 2 o'clock here this afternoon. They can put these machines out to try to simulate that pitcher's release point. With Ober so big and such a lower release point, it's a different look.
Good plate appearance there from Cosmo Okamoto. Went to a 2-strike count early, but he'll take a walk, and it's first and second with 2 down. Blue Jays threatening here in the first inning. Couple on for John Schneider's club. Dalton Varsho steps in to hit. Called strike there from Manny Gonzalez. Just clipped the upper and inner corner of the zone. In theory, Joe, this is the kind of matchup you might want for Varsho. A lot of changeups, lots of pitches down in the zone.
Tried to come in with that first pitch fastball, but again, it's not the velocity.
They tried to go up and in again, so they're pitching more to the scouting report of Varsho than the strengths necessarily of Ober, adjusting there to get ahead 0-2.
That's where you would think that maybe Varsho can get to this fastball, but it is that deceptive delivery coming out of his hand, the extension. So when you see 88, 89, 90, it actually looks a lot more in the batter's box.
The 0-2. And he struck him out. Got him on a slider to strand a pair and end the inning. The Blue Jays threaten but do not score in the top of the first. Kevin Gausman on the hill next. Minnesota Twins are searching for a little more offense than they've had in the last 2 weeks, but this guy's been a constant. Trevor Larnach, with his plate discipline, continues to find himself on base. He today will test the command of Blue Jays right-handed starter Kevin Gausman, who takes the hill for his 7th start.
Just another quality start for Kevin last time out. Now 2-1 with a 2.57 ERA in his 6 starts. Pitched into the 7th inning against Cleveland, allowing 2 runs, earned his 2nd win of the season. Did a good job of getting ahead, a lot of first pitch strikes. When his 4-seamer's in the zone early, that is very important, because that's what gets hitters into swing mode. He did a good job of that. Got a lot of called strikes with his 4-seam fastball.
He'll face his biggest challenge in the lineup right away, Byron Buxton, at the top of the order for the Twins. Might not have been in a rhythm when they came to Toronto a couple weeks back. He is humming right now at the top of the Twins order. And Gausman starts him with a fastball that misses downstairs. Ball 1. When Gausman was getting those called strikes, what do you think that's a byproduct of, like the called strike he just got right there?
Right there, I think hitters are looking for that splitter, and Kevin continues to play that chess match, and he can steal a lot of called strikes with the fastball.
Swing and a miss as he goes right back to the splitter after that low fastball, and it's 1-2.
And I think that's the pitch for Buxton, because this is a guy that's clearly trying to get the ball in the air. A lot of his hits to the pull side, so if you get a guy in pull mode, you can shake him up with that splitter going down.
Is 1-2. Splitter in the dirt.
Good idea. That's exactly what I was thinking. That one was just a little too low. Never really looked good to Buxton.
So you've gone back-to-back splitters. Do you triple up?
Sure. I think a lot of it has to do with Kevin. This is what he does so well. He adapts. He tries to see what the hitter's doing.
That's a fastball hit to right center field on a line, and that will get down past Sanchez. Cut off by Dalton Varsho, but it's going to be a double for Byron Buxton. Thought for a second there, potentially one of Sanchez or Varsho had a beat on that ball, but it ended up dropping in between them.
I think if anybody had it, it was going to be Sanchez, but Jesus took a very interesting route to this ball, and we have seen that in the past, but it was a zig and a zag, and you can see his pitcher right there. He's like, guys, ball was hit pretty good, but I thought for sure Sanchez was the one that should have gone to that baseball.
So a leadoff double for the Twins, and Trevor Larnach, who we talked about a moment ago, is up right now. Larnach is one of baseball's most disciplined hitters. He's walking in about a fifth of his plate appearances, which is near the tops in the majors. And he drives this ball high in the air to shallow right center. Varsho ranging in. He'll make the grab, and there's one out.
Good job by Gausman not allowing him to advance that runner defensively behind Kevin tonight. Yohendrick Pinango makes his second start in left field. We saw Varsho in center and Sanchez in right on the infield. Nothing different. Okamoto and Jimenez on the left side. Clement and Vladdy on the right side. Brendan Valenzuela makes his 12th start behind the plate. Back-to-back for him once again.
John Schneider was quite encouraged by the game Brendan Valenzuela had yesterday on both sides of the ball. And now Ryan Jeffers rolls over to shortstop. Andres Jimenez throws to first quickly. 2 down for Kevin Gausman.
One thing Kevin has done with right-handed hitters this season very successfully is the fastball inside, and you see where this pitch is. And I think a lot of hitters are thinking more over the plate with the fastball and splitter, and it doesn't have to be 96 in there, but clearly jammed the hitter big time.
He's been generating weaker contact, getting quicker outs than he has in the past. Now he's looking to strand Buxton after a leadoff double. The pitch to Josh Bell is low ball 1. Bell, a switch hitter, batting left against Kevin Gausman. Great career numbers against him. 7 for 21 with 2 doubles and a homer. Gausman getting some of that weak contact. He may not contend for the most strikeouts in the American League like he would have a couple years ago, but he is getting deep into games quick these days in a way that maybe he wouldn't have when he was punching everyone out. And that's a very well-placed fastball to make it 1-2.
When you have quick resolutions to at-bats, that's a pitcher's dream. And Jeffers swinging at that first pitch fastball in, it's a quick, easy out, a one-pitch at-bat, and you pile a few of those together, you can really control your pitch count. Stay out there a lot longer.
The 1-2. And the dirt splitter started low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nice job by Valenzuela as a catcher. When you know you've got the assignment behind Kevin Gausman in a ball game, you are in block mode, and you just anticipate every split finger it's going to be down there. He controls that easily, keeps it right in front of him.
Bell lifts the ball foul. Still 2-2. Splitters have somewhat unique spin to some other pitches. Is there any challenge in blocking a pitch like that?
I would say more so that it's coming straight on, so you can just square right up, as opposed to a slider or a curveball that's spinning. As a catcher from a right-hand pitcher, it's spinning to your right, and it's going to come back a little bit, so you have to surround it.
So the splitter actually a more comfortable block than some other pitches.
Splitters and changeups for me would be easier to square up. They're not going to deflect as much.
Austin Martin on deck. Josh Bell at the plate in a full count. 2 outs and Byron Buxton on second base. And Bell drives this one deep left center. Varsho back at the track, makes the catch, and Kevin Gausman pulls off the great escape. After the leadoff double, he strands Buxton with a warning track fly ball and keeps it scoreless after 1.
Well, with an intentful A swing early in his first inning plate appearance, 3 pitches taken just off the plate, and a line drive single to left, George Springer showed you exactly what the Blue Jays have been missing from him atop their lineup while he's been out with injury. It isn't just the thump and the production, it's the quality of his plate appearances and how that bleeds over to the rest of the club. As you can see here, since Springer and Alejandro Kirk have been out, the Blue Jays have been chasing more, they've been making less contact, and they've been walking left less often. And Springer, remember, this is a guy who led the Blue Jays in pitches per plate appearance last season, just marginally ahead of Kirk, and had the lowest chase rate on the 2025 Blue Jays. That's why the club's hopeful his return will help diversify the lineup and up the quality of those plate appearances.
Certainly has so far, as George Springer's got a hit already. And now Ernie Clement leads off the top of the second.
And you see George in the dugout right there, the clapping. That's what I was referring to in the open. It's not just his bat.
Clement pops one up, first base side foul. Cody Clemens retires him, 1 down.
It's not just his bat at the top of the lineup and the threat that he poses. That's all fine and dandy. But it's the fact that he is now back in the lineup. He was there in the dugout sometimes when he's on the injured list, cheering them on, trying to help guys out, doing all that he can. But now it's for real. Like when you're part of it, now he's in it with them. And it's just a different vibe for George, and it's a different vibe for everybody around him. And I think that's what Art's referring to, how what he does at the plate can help all the other hitters around him.
And then on just raw numbers, Springer sees a lot of pitches, Kirk sees a lot of pitches. When he's right, Nathan Lucas sees a lot of pitches as Piñango hits a sharp comebacker speared by Ober, and there are 2 down. That was 111 miles an hour off the bat. I know Bailey Ober's got a lot of wingspan, but that's a nice play.
Piñango has looked very good at the plate. Big hit yesterday. Anxious to see some more at-bats from him. Nice to see him in the lineup today.
2 quick outs for Bailey Ober and Andres Jimenez up. There were some questions to Derek Shelton today about Bailey Ober's velocity. It's down. It's been a story, but they don't seem to be focusing on it. They're focusing on Bailey Ober being effective no matter how hard he's throwing, and he's been effective even with some reduced velocity.
He pitched well again in that last start in Tampa, just gave up the 2 runs, but the other part you can't control if you're not going to score runs. The Rays beat the Twins 6-1 against the struggling offense.
Jimenez lifts one, and Royce Lewis is there. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Bailey Ober. Middle of the second. No score in this one. Blue Jays and Twins in the opener of the series.
Husband's game that we'll be keeping a close eye on here is his fastball velocity. It was 92.1 miles per hour on average in the first inning here. And this follows a bit of a trend that we've seen from Gausman this season, in which he's really eased his way into games, as you see there in the first and second innings, hovering around 93.5 before ramping it up into the 94s in the third, fourth, and fifth. This has been pretty consistent across all of his starts this year. Last time, or excuse me, 2 starts ago in Arizona, we saw it. Of course, the Blue Jays had that really long first inning while they beat up on the Diamondbacks. back, so that could have been part of it. Here tonight, it's very cold in Minnesota. Interested to see how that impacts him. So keep an eye on the radar gun as Gausman goes, because he seems to have been saving some of his best velocity for middle innings.
It could be some of the more puzzling velocities to track. Last start against Cleveland, he threw a fastball, a four-seamer at 89 at one point, and one at 97 at another point in the same start. His pitch to Austin Martin is lined to third. I thought Okamoto caught it. He'll throw him out either way. And there's one down.
I call it pitching 101, Ben. I think he's a crafty veteran. Kevin Gausman is in his 14th big league season. And what he's doing is, it's working because he's changing speeds. He's got that 94, 95 in the tank when he wants it. And as we have already seen earlier in that first inning, that first pitch fastball to Jeffers, it doesn't have to be 97 if it's located inside. You've got so many hitters thinking splitter that fastball works.
First pitch to Cody Clemens is a 90-mile-an-hour fastball outside, ball one.
That's the old AK, also known as BP fastball. You know, years ago we used to call that a BP fastball, batting practice fastball. If you throw 95, throw 190 once in a while. It's almost like a little changeup.
Not to mention the changeup he also occasionally mixes in.
But it's really the art of pitching. It's changing speeds, it's moving the ball in and out, back and forth, up and down.
His 2-0 to Clemens is outside with a splitter, ball three. Trying to not lose Clemens here with one out in the inning. Second year with the Twins for Cody Clemens. The 3-0. Called a strike. It's pretty big for his career, the move over to the Twins. He had played sparingly at Clemens with the Phillies and then the Tigers, and got traded over for cash and went on a huge run to start his Twins career that's had him maybe not an absolutely everyday player, but a most days player for the Twins ever since.
Hit 19 home runs last year between Philly and Minnesota. And the numbers may not jump off the page, but I don't know about you, but does it not feel like you're watching this guy in the highlights a lot with big hits and home runs? I mean, you would think he'd already be up there, but
he's the knack for the multi-run homer, does Cody Clemens. He's hurt the Blue Jays a fair bit in his
maybe that's
career.
it. Maybe they weren't highlights I was watching.
Even though he was up and down at times with Philadelphia, he had some big games against the Blue Jays. And he'll swing and miss right there. Gausman with the strikeout, his first.
Well, there he goes, right back down. When you've got that splitter on your mind, that 92 can look like 98, and it looked like you just blew it by him.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using the code STRIKEOUT. Kevin Gausman, if he has a big night tonight, could reach a strikeout milestone. His first pitch to Luke Keeschel is low, ball one. That was his 1,993rd strikeout of his career. So he needs 7 more to get to 2,000.
He's chasing Max then.
Yes. Led the American League in strikeouts when he had 237 as a Blue Jay in 2023. Was a Cy Young finalist that year. Is 1-1 to Luke Keeschel. Is skied out to shallow right. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going back, but it's Ernie Clement making the catch as Vladdy pretends. And that'll do it for the inning. No score through 2. Kevin Gausman and Bailey Ober pitching well so far. Get to the ballpark early on June 10th. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Dylan Cease bobblehead. Get tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Dylan Cease getting a start in this series. That's a good mustache corner at the back of the dugout right there. Davis Schneider and Dylan Cease. Trey Savage is kind of bringing up the rear in the mustache competition there, but that's all right. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Joe Siddall. Joe, if you had to have one of those two mustaches, which one would you prefer?
Oof, I don't think I'd look good in either one, Ben. That's why I'm clean shaven.
I feel like you could do kind of the Davis or the Pete Walker handlebar.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe get that old Tigers jersey on you.
Probably look like I should be sitting on a bar stool.
Perhaps an opportunity. Pardon me, Brandon Valenzuela up right now. 2-1 count to start the inning. And Brandon Valenzuela, nice last 24 hours for him. Goes 2 for 3 yesterday, hits a home run. 3 for 3 on ABS overturns, by the way, as well yesterday as the catcher. And he pops this one up foul. Third base side. Lewis is going to give it a look, but it'll go into the seats. 3-2.
He's asking the home plate umpire there if that had the edge of the plate. Manny Gonzalez back there. Hitters will do that, and as a catcher I would say yep, it had the edge. He'll say I'm not talking to you, but got to make him think everything's a strike.
Now Valenzuela lifts one out to right center field. Larnach started back, now coming in, or pardon me, Martin will make the catch, and there's one out. Austin Martin, Blue Jays first rounder, took him 5th overall in the 2020 draft out of Vanderbilt. So Bailey Ober, one time through the order, has given up a hit and a walk, but no runs, and thrown only 31 pitches to get 7 outs. His first pitch to Springer is hit through the left side, and George Springer is 2 for 2.
Well, George is aggressive. He's looking for something early. It's the same pitch he hit his base hit on earlier. It's a slider down and away, out front a little bit, but really stays on that ball well. Look at the long finish to keep that barrel going through the zone.
Would not expect, with him just returning from the toe injury, for the base stealing to necessarily be a big part of the game right now. Obviously, when healthy, he's been one of, if not the best base stealers on the team the last couple of years.
Very efficient.
Yes. Jesus Sanchez stole his first base of the season in the first inning after hitting into a fielder's choice. When you look at Jesus Sanchez's first 30 games with the Blue Jays, he's producing the hardest contact on average of his career, and he's hitting balls to the middle of the field more than he ever has in his career.
And I think that's a result of his swing path, trying to almost stay inside the baseball and not guided up the middle, but using that part of the ballpark. And while that can work effectively, I think this guy has so much power. I'd almost want to see that bat head accelerating up front a little bit more, trying to catch some balls out front.
He nods right there after taking a pitch high and outside. It's 3-1.
He was a hitter that used to get the head out there a little bit more pull mode, where he can do some damage, use that bat speed.
Big swing there on the 3-1, hit it back foul. Four-seamer at 89, but looked like he was trying to get that one out front.
And you see how it got on him, though. It got on him. We see more and more teams. They pitch a lot of these lefties in this Blue Jays lineup similarly. But if he can get the bat head out to that one, it's going to go a long ways.
Throw over to first. At least Ober thinks there might be a chance Springer's going.
The path he's creating is more of a line drive approach as opposed to trying to catch it out on the upswing to get it in the air more.
He hits this one high in the air, third base side, foul. Lewis calling for it, makes the grab up against the netting. Nice play by Royce Lewis, and there are 2 outs.
Well, one of the benefits of playing in your home field is, you know, the distance to the side there, and Royce was sizing it up, and as he got closer, he knew the netting was there, the short wall was there, and he played it perfectly.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. back up. He popped up on the first pitch he saw today in the first. The pitch. Called a strike.
You'd rather see that, though, than him swinging at a first pitch that's not a great pitch to hit. Not in his first at bat. He teed off on that first pitch sinker kind of at the top of the zone.
That might have even been a potential challenge opportunity. 0-1. Out in front there, he fouls it back into the glove of Jeffers. 0-2. Guerrero with 39 hits this season, 30 of them coming in his last 19 games. It's the second most hits ever by a Blue Jay before May 1st. 2 hits tonight, he could tie the record. It was 2014 Blue Jay Melky Cabrera who had 41 hits before the 1st of May. The 1-2. Off the end of the bat, a spinning grounder to first, and going to the bag, Cody Clements will retire the side. Bailey overstrands George Springer and keeps it scoreless. Bottom of the 3rd next.
Well, baseball doesn't quite work like this, but we had some fun and took Kevin Gausman's last 12 months and found that since the beginning of May 2025, he's had an awfully nice year. This is over 32 starts. You see there, he ranks 6th in innings, top 10 in whip and WAR, and 11th in ERA across the majors. And that doesn't include at the bottom there the 5 postseason starts with 30 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.93 ERA, and a .91 whip. You know, there could be some hesitance to include Gausman in the ace conversations across MLB. He doesn't really come to the tip of the tongue when you're talking about Paul Skeens or Tarek Skubal, but over the last 12 months, Ben, he really has pitched like one.
Yeah, the production somewhat speaks for itself. And Kevin Gausman not only has pitched very well, Arden mentioned the postseason, he's pitched very well in high pressure moments. The postseason, the race near the end of the year got very tight in the division, and yet Kevin Gausman, week in, week out, or every 5 days, comes out and continues to dominate lineups.
In the innings, Arden showed that's the durability. The ERA is the quality, the whip, the walks plus hits per innings pitched. He doesn't walk many, doesn't give up a ton of hits, so there aren't many runners on base. And if there's around 1 runner on base, you're doing pretty well.
Brooks Lee just fouled one off the shoulder of Brandon Valenzuela. You don't see a shoulder foul off.
He's got that
every day.
Shoulder back there. You see the 2 pieces that come over each shoulder. That's to protect your shoulder. But as you can imagine, when you move, those little flaps can move, and the ball misses the equipment again.
So you want to be a catcher.
They designed those originally, it was just on the throwing shoulder to protect your throwing arm, and then over the years they put them on both shoulders, but they still don't necessarily protect.
0-2 pitches, lined left side, foul. I don't know how Lee got to that pitch. That was way outside.
But how about that contract of Kevin Gausman? I mean, when you're looking at contracts for starting pitchers, and we talk about that durability and reliability so much, Kevin Gausman has been the poster boy for that. 5 years, $110 million, and worth every penny of it.
Lee hits this one in the air to left field. Yohendrick Pinango will make the catch in his 2nd career start. A lot of the time, if you sign a free agent to a long-term 9-figure contract, there's an understanding that that's just not always going to get full value for your money, especially by the end of it. Maybe you pay for the front end, and you're okay if it's not as good on the back end. Gausman seems to be the rare case where the Blue Jays have come out with the bargain here for what Kevin Gausman has done. His pitch to Royce Lewis is popped up. Guerrero coming in. Valenzuela ditches his mask, but Vladdy will take over and make the catch in foul territory.
I talked to Brandon Valenzuela about this exact play, more so the ones that go toward the dugouts, but as a catcher, you're going for this ball until you're called off. He told me he knows that when he's going to the 3rd base side, he's got to make sure he can get to the baseball. When he goes to the 1st base side, like that foul ball, anything over there, he's expecting. He's absolutely expecting Vladdy to call it, and that's a great thing to know, and that's a great tribute to what Vladdy does at 1st base, coming hard and taking charge on those.
First pitch slider that looked like from Gausman to Byron Buxton. Possible challenge opportunity for Buxton, but it's 0-1.
And Buxton slams this one high in the air, center field, but he got under it. Varsho with room to make the catch and end the inning. No score after 3. We'll see if Kazuma Okamoto can change that when he leads off against Bailey Ober next. There have been many iconic home runs throughout 50 seasons of this franchise, and now is your chance to have 5 of them on one t-shirt. On May 11th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Legendary Home Runs t-shirt presented by Ryobi. Learn more at bluejays.com/tickets. Blue Jays home run leader Kazuma Okamoto with 5 on the year takes a strike. He'll lead off this top of the 4th. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Joe Siddall. Down on the field, Arden Zwelling as Okamoto hits one foul.
Well, these Blue Jays hitters the second time through are going to have to make that adjustment against Bailey Ober and really think soft, sit soft, really think of that ball getting very deep.
Okamoto lifts this one to left. Moving back Trevor Larnach. He'll make the catch.
Another changeup again, and that time Okamoto a little bit out front. And I think even especially with 2 strikes, foul that ball into the first base dugout if you have to, if you're a right-handed batter, but you really can't get caught out front because everything's so soft.
Got to create your own velocity. Hitting against Ober, who's making his 8th career start against the Blue Jays. And has pretty good results against the Blue Jays in his career. The ERA is just a shade below 4, although they got him for 9 earned runs in 12 innings last year. Good changeup right there.
And you can see where the baseball is going. He's getting good run on that away from the left-handed hitter, but you can see the swing path of Varsho too, really coming around in pull mode.
1-1. And Varsho pulls this one in the air to right field. That ball is back, and that ball is gone. Got a pitch to pull and crushed it out to right field. Dalton Varsho's 4th home run of the season gives the Blue Jays the lead.
This is what Dalton can do. He can beat you, but he beats you into the seats. He had him absolutely fooled on the changeup before, but then tried to get a little too cute and sneak the fastball by him upstairs, and he was ready for it.
Ernie Clement now hits a one-hopper to deep short. Tough play here for Lee, and a good throw. And there are 2 down. Back to the Dalton Varsho home run that just gave the Blue Jays the lead.
Well, this is what Dalton does. You see the catcher wants the ball up because we know that Bailey Ober threw him a couple in his first at-bat as well, trying to beat him with that fastball at the top of the zone. But he was ready for that one.
Just wrapped it around the pole. Wasn't sure that was going to stay fair off the bat, but it did for Varsho, who's now tied for 2nd on the Blue Jays with 4 home runs. See him talking there with George Springer, his locker mate in the Blue Jay clubhouse as well. As Pinyango smacks one foul left side 0-2. Well, things are going right for this guy. He might be able to hit some balls like that too. Very violent left-handed swing from Pinyango. And yet he pairs that, or at least did at AAA last year and AA, with some good plate discipline. He walked 70 times between AA and AAA last year.
Good job laying off that changeup.
Lays off that one as well.
Good to see young hitters when they're called up having plate appearances like this where they're not chasing too much, seeing the pitch. He certainly knows what Ober has to offer.
And from 0-2, he's worked the count to 3-2 by not chasing. Hit a ball over 110 miles an hour his first time up, but to Bailey Ober. And he fights that one off foul.
Again, not overpowering with that fastball, but you can see how it can play after those changeups and slider. Probably looks more like 95 to the hitter, but he does a good job fouling it off, buying himself another one.
And now he fouls off another.
That slider hung up a little bit, but got far enough away from Pinyango that he couldn't square it up. Eighth pitch. Down and in, ball 4. An 8-pitch walk for the rookie to keep this top of the 4th going.
Really good plate appearance right there by Pinyango. He fouled off a bunch of pitches, stayed alive, and you keep working that pitcher, and eventually Ober cannot execute that changeup.
I don't know if you saved that baseball, but it's his first major league walk.
I don't think so.
No, I would guess not.
Hits and homers, I think.
Maybe the first RBI, he got that recently. Andres Jimenez takes a strike 0-1. You have your first hit, first homer?
Those are the two I have. First hit, first home run. First hit was Frank Tanana of the New York Mets at the Big O in Montreal. First home run off of Jeff Facero at Tiger Stadium. See how I said first home run? Only home run.
Hey, that's, I wasn't going to say it.
You're like a walking baseball reference. I can't get anything past you.
Well, we know each other, so I've been on your page a couple of times.
Probably didn't last long, did it? Didn't take you long to get through that.
Caught a lot of guys stealing, I'll tell you that. 1-1 pitches outside, 2 balls and a strike. Andres Jimenez popped up to third base his first time up. He, along with Pinyango before him, are working Bailey Ober a little bit, who's still been efficient today, but his pitch count's starting to climb. Good changeup, though. It's been nasty all day.
Such a good pitch, especially when you can throw it when you're behind in the count. 2-1 to the hitter. Probably thinking fastball, but that again is an example of this Blue Jays lineup. You almost have to think of that changeup. Like, don't be fooled by it. He throws it a ton.
His 2-2. There goes Pinyango, and the pitch is hit well on a line out to center, but Buxton back to make the grab and end the inning. The Blue Jays strike first in this one, though. A 4th-inning home run for Dalton Varsho, his 4th of the season, and it's 1-0 Blue Jays in Minneapolis. Before today's game, the Minnesota Twins honored Louis Varland, not only a Twins pitcher for parts of 4 seasons, but a St. Paul native, a Concordia University alum, and part of their 2023 playoff run as well. Louis Varland got an applause from the crowd here in attendance. And Louis Varland, of course, excited to be around. That's live. Greeting LaTroy Hopkins, the former Blue Jay bullpen coach for the Twins, and those Twins relievers. For Varland at the time, and he admitted leaving Minnesota was tough. It's his hometown team, and they clearly have a lot of love for him here as well.
Yeah, when you play on a team, you acquire a lot of friends, and then your families know each other, so the roots are pretty deep. Tough move for Louis, but one that worked for him, certainly worked for the Blue Jays, and will be working for years to come the way he's pitching.
Kevin Gausman offers to Trevor Larnach, high ball 1. Between where he's from, where he pitched, where he went to school, the ice fishing, the pond hockey, it doesn't get a lot more Minnesotan than Louis Varland. He's a good representative of the state, and obviously very important to the Blue Jays. 1-0 pitch. And Larnach, tough to get to chase, talked about it earlier, 2-0. For Gausman, his game is somewhat reliant on chase. I mean, everyone's is to a certain extent. And he gets a swing and a miss right there. How can he convince a hitter like Larnach to swing at pitches out of the zone when Larnach's hardly doing that?
It's so tough, but his splitter looks like his fastball. And as a hitter, he's sitting 2-0 right there, I'm sure, sitting fastball. And that thing looked like a fastball all the way till the very last split second.
Fastball outside, 3 balls and a strike.
See that fastball getting away from him a little bit arm side. We saw it earlier a little bit too with the splitter. Kevin wants that splitter more straight down. That's the ideal pitch. Woo!
By the way, earlier Arden mentioned the velocity. It's still around 90 to 92 for Kevin Gausman on the 4-seam fastball right now, but cooler temperatures. He has touched 95. He's sitting around 92, so I should say more like 91 to 93 for Kevin Gausman.
So as you say that, I would say let's keep an eye on this in the hopefully 4th hope in the 5th, hopefully 6th, and see if he doesn't empty the tank a little bit when it's getting later.
That'll be his first walk of the start as Larnach goes down to first to lead off this 4th. Prior to that pitch, very efficient for Kevin Gausman so far. He had retired 9 straight after the leadoff double by Byron Buxton. And still, even with that walk, 38 pitches in the bottom of the 4th inning is a pretty good spot to be if you're Kevin Gausman. Pitch in the dirt to Ryan Jeffers. Valenzuela getting on top of that one. He'd love to, Kevin Gausman, due to Ryan Jeffers, what he did the first time. He got him to ground out right to the shortstop, Andres Jimenez, by driving a fastball in on his hands.
Kevin, not necessarily known as a ground ball pitcher, but he can get his fair share, especially with that good movement on that splitter going down. Maybe get Jeffers to pound one into the ground.
Swing and a miss on a great splitter, 1-1.
You can see that movement I'm talking about down. That one started away, came back a little bit, but a lot of vertical movement.
He's definitely not a ground ball pitcher, Gausman, but he's forcing more ground balls this year than he has in the last 6 seasons. And almost half of the contact that he's generating is on the ground. This one is hit in the air down the right field line. Long run for Sanchez, and that's foul. Jeffers thought it had a chance. He went down to first. It's 2-2.
There are a few pitchers on the Blue Jays staff. I was a little surprised to see Gausman, even like Dylan Cease, Jeff Hoffman, Louis Varland, guys that are more fly ball type pitchers that are getting more ground balls, and different reasons I think for each one of them. I think with Cease, he's throwing so many pitches now. You know, hitters used to just be able to sit on maybe four-seam fastball and slider, so you pick one of those and you can probably get it in the air okay. But with all of the different weapons that we're seeing from him now, he's got the curveball, the sweeper, the changeup, that it's tough for hitters, and probably get a lot of those fastballs deep too.
2-2 pitches hit on the ground, foul.
That's an example of a fastball getting deep on a hitter. When it gets deep, you're hitting it literally on the downswing of the bat, of the path. So it's right into the ground.
The runner on first base, Trevor Larnach. It's been a long start to this inning for Gausman. 6 pitches to Larnach, and now he'll offer his 6th to Ryan Jeffers. And Jeffers spoils it, so they'll do it for his 7th. You gotta like this if you're Derek Shelton. You're trying to get Kevin Gausman out of there ASAP. Another 2-2. Check swing, and they'll appeal to first, but it was kind of a half-hearted appeal by Valenzuela. 3-2. You don't want to walk Jeffers. You never want to walk anyone, but you really don't want to walk Jeffers here. So do you still go to the splitter because it's his best pitch, or do you got to sit with the fastball?
I'm sure Kevin can command a splitter enough to, whether it carries the zone or keeps it in. He's a tough guy because he's not going to necessarily chase a whole lot. So you almost have to throw it for a strike if you do.
Runner off on the pitch, and Jeffers jacks one left center field. Varsho back at the fence. It's gone. Fourth of the year for Ryan Jeffers as the Twins respond with a homer of their own to take a 2-1 lead.
Ryan Jeffers has been an RBI machine for these Minnesota Twins, and Kevin went with the fastball, and it was center cut. You could see the reaction of Valenzuela, and then the reaction of Varsho. There's no more real estate left.
Gausman looking to shake it off and reset as he takes on Josh Bell. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Over the years, the Twins have been, for whatever reason, a team that have seen Kevin Gausman fairly well. Gausman in 14 career starts against the Twins in the regular season with an ERA around 6.5, although both of his last 2 starts here against Minnesota have been good. It's a trend that seemed to exist a little bit more around 2022-23 than it does these days.
I remember back then too, and we certainly, watching some of the games, thought maybe the Twins had something on him. They were doing a great job laying off some of the splitters down, attacking his fastballs. I think those days are done. Kevin's made the adjustment.
This pitch is hit well out to center. Varsho going back, and he'll make the grab. 1 out. And Gausman's still pitching well. Yes, a 2-run homer, but he's allowed only 2 hits thus far, and still pitching efficiently as he tries to continue to work through this 4th. Gausman got Martin to bounce out to third base in the 2nd inning. And a check swing liner foul. Well, we talked Louis Varland earlier. Martin part of a big Blue Jays Twins trade when they sent Martin and Simeon Woods Richardson to the Twins to acquire Jose Barrios. We got a Barrios update today from John Schneider that he's throwing his bullpen in between starts with the Buffalo Bisons. They've not yet determined where his next outing will be after starting on Tuesday for the AAA club. One, 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A miss there with the splitter.
Watch this setup.
The 2-2 is rolled over foul. A couple other updates from the Blue Jays skipper. Addison Barger is going to run the bases tomorrow, dealing with the bilateral ankle discomfort, and the plan is for him to play for the Dunedin Blue Jays on Sunday. Be his first rehab action. This pitch is sent out to center. And another play for Varsho. 2 outs, and we go down to the field with Sportsnet's Arden Zwellen.
Well, one possibility, Ben, for that Jose Barrios outing to come is actually here in Minneapolis on Sunday. We had thought that Trey Savage was going to start that day, but the Blue Jays are keeping it TBD because they may want to bump the Savage a day and have him start on Monday at the Trop against the Rays. So it's going to be Patrick Corbin on Friday and Dylan Cease on Saturday for certain, but Sunday we're not sure who's going to be starting. Could be Jose Barrios.
That would be a kind of regular start in terms of 4 days in between. Then on the 5th day, Barrios making the start on Sunday as Cody Clemens takes a strike.
It would be nice to see Addison Barger's bat back very soon, and might not take a real long time once he gets playing in a couple of games.
Some positive developments on Barrios, on Barger. Alejandro Kirk will be throwing tomorrow for the first time. Shane Bieber is continuing his mound progression, has not faced hitters yet, although the words John Schneider used, paraphrasing slightly, is he's starting to speed up that progression once May rolls around. Nathan Lucas has gone to Dunedin, where he's starting to work with the folks at the player development complex, and Max Scherzer, who's back in Florida, is going to meet the team in Tampa Bay. Still a lot going on, but some positive momentum in terms of the injury front for the Blue Jays. Two runs in the inning for Minnesota to take the lead. Gausman's 1-2. It's a splitter down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Clemens hits it foul. And it's still 2-2. We talked about him hurting the Blue Jays at times in his career. Even though he's been up and down from AAA over the past couple of years, Clemens has homered against Toronto each of the last 3 years, driving in 11 runs in 14 career games against the Blue Jays. And now he has a good take low on a fastball. Gausman spins away in frustration. Full count.
Looks like they tried to come inside more on that one. And anytime they try to come in on those lefties, that ball of his naturally comes back arm side. Missed down, but much more over the plate.
Splitter popped up. Jimenez and Clement coming together. Andres Jimenez under it. And that will do it for the 4th inning. After a leadoff walk, Ryan Jeffers' 2-run homer powers the Twins to a 2-1 lead through 4. Keep their season alive. Game 6 coverage begins at 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 Mountain with Hockey Central. There's playoff hockey going on in Minneapolis right now. You can catch that on Sportsnet 2. Minnesota Wild are leading the Dallas Stars 1-0. They threw it up on the big screen here when Quinn Hughes scored the first goal of the game for the Wild. They're looking to get some very belated revenge on the Stars for leaving town and going to Dallas. First pitch to Brandon Valenzuela is outside, ball 1.
The old Minnesota North Stars.
Yes. And for the Wild also, if they win, it would be their first playoff series win in 11 years. And then that's in St. Paul. And then here in Minneapolis, right across the street, the Timberwolves are trying to take down the Denver Nuggets.
Is he downtown tonight?
Very busy. Brandon Valenzuela flied out in a full count in the 3rd inning. And now he hits this ball out to center field. Shallow and caught by the shortstop Lee. And there's one out.
Another changeup from Bailey Ober. He is continuing to go to that pitch. Getting Blue Jays hitters out front.
He's really messed with the timing because a pitch like that changeup caught a lot of the plate.
Oh, a lot of them are right there. And that's the one thing, he throws them in the zone a lot.
And yet he's continuing to succeed.
That's how effective he is with it.
Although George Springer has got him twice, 2 for 2 tonight. And Springer, if you go back to last year, is 6 for his last 6 off Bailey Ober, 3 of them being home runs. That pitch, at least on the borderline, probably a challenge opportunity.
Looked
right
like
there.
he was thinking about it for a fraction of a second.
Both teams have both their challenges remaining. And that's called strike 3. And that might have been a challenge opportunity as well. And you hear Manny Gonzalez saying, let him handle it, which is right. You can challenge them. He both called a ball, probably a ball above the zone and then a ball below the zone there.
Manny's words were, he's a big kid. So he's telling the Blue Jays bench, John Schneider, he's a big kid. If he wants to argue, he'll argue. If he wants to challenge, he'll challenge. I'm sure that's what that was about. George chose not to challenge on either one of those.
For Bailey Ober, his 2nd strikeout of the start. And he's pitched to Jesus Sanchez.
And you know, if you're George, and you can see on our monitor there that both teams still have their ABS challenges next to the team name, George could be not sure of those calls, but I would say it's more so, it's the 5th inning, it's a 2-1 game, we might have more important things going on later, so very unselfish by George to maybe wait this out.
It does still feel like teams are feeling out when they want to challenge. I think generally you are right that later in the game is when teams are preferring to do it. You just always have in the back of your head, and maybe not with this scenario because no one's on base, but do you need to challenge this 3rd inning pitch right now because you got a couple guys on, and maybe this is going to be the difference in the game. Sanchez hits it high out to right field and playable for Austin Martin. He'll make the grab, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the fifth. Blue Jays down 2-1 middle of the fifth. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Brad Fett. Celebrate a Blue Jays legend with the Roy Halladay replica retro jersey giveaway. On Monday, June 8th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a retro jersey honoring Doc, one of the greatest pitchers in franchise history. Buy tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Kevin Gausman looking to bounce back after giving up 2 runs in the 4th inning. Faces Luke Keschall in the bottom third of the order here in the 5th. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Joe Siddle. Arden's welling down on the field. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Keschall will ask for time. Granted by Manny Gonzalez. Luke Keschall hitting the top third of the Twins order for a lot of the year, but he has struggled, and so they have him now in the bottom third. He'll ground one to short, picked up between the ankles by Jimenez, and there's one down.
One of those rare sliders we'll see from Gausman. He likes to use that on occasion against those right-handed batters, just to have something going away from them, and gets a struggling hitter out front to roll it over.
I know we talked about how he's not really a ground ball pitcher. That does feel like a ground ball pitch
for sure. Any pitch that's going down or the breaking pitch is going away, you get hitters out front and they're already toward the end of their swing, rolling over.
Brooks Lee pops one foul behind home plate. It's 0-1. Lee is switch hitter, the 8th overall pick in 2022. Came out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, where he played under his dad. His dad, Larry Lee, the longtime coach there.
16 home runs last year. There's certainly some pop in that bat.
He does have the tough responsibility of now taking over at shortstop for Carlos Correa. That started last year when Correa got traded back to Houston.
Struggled defensively a little bit this year too at the shortstop position.
He sends this one in the air to left field. It'll be a second play today for Piñango, and there are 2 down.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
Kevin Gausman continuing to pitch well. Aside from that blip to start the 4th where there was a walk and then a 2-run homer, he's allowed almost nothing so far today. Just hasn't gotten the run support to be in position to win right now. See what he does here, though, against Royce Lewis, who even with the pop-up in the 3rd is lifetime 5 for 10 off Gausman, including the playoffs. He hit 2 homers in the American League Wild Card Series in 1 game off Kevin Gausman in 2023.
Always a dangerous bat, but just always tough to stay healthy for Royce Lewis. We were talking about Brooks Lee and his struggles defensively at shortstop for the Twins this year, and Lewis at 3rd, same thing. So the left side of the infield has been a bit of an issue defensively, to say the least.
Lewis smacks that one on a line to left. Piñango back to make the catch and end the inning. 1-2-3 for Kevin Gausman. The Blue Jays will have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off when we return. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get a hit in this winning inning, you could win amazing prizes courtesy of Rogers Beyond the Sea. Got a good couple guys due up to do it, by the way. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
That was timely.
Likely to get a hit. He is 0 for 2 today, batting .351 on the year. And he'll take a strike, and then Okamoto and Varsho to follow as the Blue Jays try to come back.
Now, does Vladdy take a first pitch fastball right down the middle if he's looking for it? I say no, so I think he's sitting soft.
Swings at that fastball, and a sinker, and it's 0-2.
And I think they think he's sitting soft. Came back with that sinker in on his hands.
It really does show the power of extension and deception. In an age of high velocity, Ober still pitching well. And Vladdy smacks that breaking ball foul. 0-2. The average right-hander throws harder than 95 miles an hour this year.
Yeah, this is a very unique pitcher you're facing. Number one, the velocity's not there. Number two, he throws a ton of these changeups. Looks like Jeffers wants it up.
0-2. It got up, but Vladdy got his bat to it. Maybe not high enough there.
I wonder if they were having a little pitch comm issue there, and then the clock was going down, so they thought they better just go. Jeffers went and set up away.
No spare nail polish in his back pocket to get the fingers going in
Put
time.
the fingers down.
Pretty good pitch right there, but a good take from Guerrero on that changeup that didn't quite come back to the corner.
Usually when Vladdy's taking pitches like that, he's seeing it really well.
The 1-2. Broken bat grounder up the middle. The shortstop Lee has time, and there's one out.
Well, here it is again. This is a fastball. It's just a sinking fastball at 89. Inside on Vladdy, and we've seen fastballs do this to him, and I think he's just one of those where he's getting his hits on fastballs, but there's not a whole lot of damage. Taking his hits and trying to do more of the damage on the off-speed stuff. So sitting soft, that fastball can get in on you. And I know I said earlier he's not overpowering, so you can still get to the fastball, but clearly when it's located well with movement, not always the case.
Good slider to Kazuma Okamoto. That was the 80th pitch for Ober, by the way. He threw 83 in his 6-inning start against the Rays last time out.
Ober does not throw many of those sinkers, but when he does and gets the movement that he did on that one to Vladdy, very effective.
On the ground left side, picked up by Lewis, and he'll throw overhand to get Kazuma Okamoto. More contact on the ground for Bailey Ober, who's one good pitch away from getting through 6 innings. Now the only snag for Bailey Ober is he's going to have to go through Dalton Varsho to get through 6 innings, and Varsho hit a towering home run to right last time he batted. Off the end of the bat, a bouncer to third, backhanded Lewis. Tough throw in time for the out to end the inning. Nice defense at the hot corner for Royce Lewis. It's not always about the ball being ripped right at you. He makes a throw on the run to keep the Twins in front, middle of the 6th. If you're a fan in Alberta, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, or Ontario, this is your chance to win a jackpot projected to go over $2 million and already over $1 million. Projected to go to $2 million by May 13th. With tickets as low as $10, get yours now at bluejays.com/5050. Third time through the order for Kevin Gausman at Target Field in Minneapolis. First pitch to Byron Buxton is yanked down and away. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Joe Siddall with Arden Zwelling down on the field. Buxton launches out to left field. Pinyango back at the track at the wall. It's gone. Buxton goes deep for his 8th of the year. And the Twins add to their lead. 2 homers that put them up 3-1.
There's this fastball inside. We've talked about how it's been fairly effective at times. This one just 90 miles per hour, and Buxton gets to it. Remember before his first at bat tonight, Ben? We said Buxton is trying to get the ball in the air, and most of his hits are going to the pull side, and that's exactly what happened with that one.
Action in the Blue Jay bullpen as Tommy Nance starts to throw. Kevin Gausman's going to have a conversation on the mound with Brandon Valenzuela. It's Gausman's 7th start of the year. It's the first time he's allowed multiple homers in a game this season. I guess if you're going to allow multiple homers, make it a solo shot and a 2-run shot. It's not like that's blown up his start by any means. But the Blue Jays have not done much against Bailey over, so every Twins run almost feels like 2.
Yeah, this is third time through this lineup. That's why that bullpen is scattering a little bit. Velocity continuing to be down. It's not necessarily a story until you get to this point in the ball game, and this is where you would think maybe he's sensing the end is near, so you might ramp up a little bit. So if he has the velocity in the tank, this is the inning I was referring to earlier where we should see it, and so far not so much in this inning.
Check swing by Larnach. Second time in a row that he starts behind Larnach 2-0. Fell behind 2-0 and walked Larnach in the 4th before a 2-run shot from Ryan Jeffers. And he gets back in the count with a fastball at the knees. As we continue to monitor the velocity of Kevin Gausman, he has sat around 92 miles an hour, close to 92.5 on his 4-seamer. Peaked at 95. And a called strike, and we're going to see our first ABS challenge of the game. For now, it's 2-1, but looked like some good reason there for Larnach to challenge it. Yep, that will be overturned. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Twins still have 2 ABS challenges remaining. The 3-1 in the dirt, ball 4. Second walk of the game for Larnach, one of the top walking hitters in all of baseball. And for a lot of pitchers, this is the case. You can see for Kevin Gausman, there's a jump first to second time. That's the dramatic one, but an even further climb upward third time through the order.
And a very dangerous hitter here in Jeffers, who is homered already. And you wonder if that's got a little bit to do with that velocity being down this year as effectively as he has pitched. Get that third time through, top of the order, the better hitters might be getting to him a little more often.
Well, it just reduces your margin for error, right? As Jeffers challenges that one, which looked like an odd receive, but I thought that might have been there, and it is.
Valenzuela will set up more upright at times when he wants that fastball elevated.
Yeah, it wasn't Valenzuela's fault for an awkward receive. He popped up and then the pitch was pulled. Now Gausman's 0-2. Down, and it gets away from Valenzuela to the backstop. That'll allow Larnach to get to second.
Remember earlier you had mentioned which one's the easier to block. The splitter will go straight down. You can square it up easily. With the slider, you have to go with it. From the right-handed pitcher, as a catcher, that slider is going to your right, away from you. So you've really got to get out there. And you see Brandon, all he did was stick his glove out there. He couldn't get his body over there.
So now a runner in scoring position with nobody out. But Gausman gets him looking. Jeffers goes down on a fastball. Second Gausman strikeout of the start.
And there is some velocity when he needs it. So he reached back that time. And this is what I mean about maybe sensing that the end is near. That one right up there to 96 miles per hour.
It's his hardest pitch of the day. Josh Bell to the plate. Gausman's pitch. And he gets a wave there on a splitter. We had discussed this briefly before the game. Often the lefties are the ones at more of a disadvantage against the splitter, Kevin Gausman, because it breaks away. The idea that maybe Josh Bell would think about turning around to hit right. We did see it in the World Series last year. Swing and a miss there by Bell. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. If I'm not mistaken, it was Tommy Edman that took an at-bat. Even though he's a switch hitter, he hit right-handed against Gausman.
And I'm guessing it could have a lot to do with Josh Bell, but Kevin's been really tough on right-handers this year. So maybe you're just asking for more trouble.
Block there by Valenzuela. Scoops it up from in between Bell's feet.
Could hear Kevin saying, That a way to go, Valley. So he knows he wants that blocked, and he does. And there's that splitter more right in front of you. And especially from that one knee stance, the ball's right in front of you, just square up. The challenge is the ball to your right or left, like we saw that slider scoot away.
On the ground to first, Guerrero has it, and Bell is retired. On to third base goes the runner Larnach, but now 2 outs.
For 16, Austin Martin.
Kevin Gausman likely right at the end of his start, approaching 90 pitches. Another run tacked on in this inning, but with one good pitch here, can log a quality start if he can get an out.
Big run to save right here, and I think he's going to see a lot of secondary pitches. Austin Martin's been a much better fastball hitter.
There's a splitter to start it, 1-0.
But the other thing he does is he's very disciplined. Not going to chase a whole lot. Take his walks, does not strike out much. So he gives you a tough AB.
Started this year as a platoon guy more for lefties, but it feels like he's growing into a bigger role with the Twins. And Valenzuela threatens a throw over to third base. 2 balls and no strikes.
And I don't like that play, Ben. And the reason I don't like it is because now you're coming out of your stance. You're blocking the umpire. If it was a close pitch, you're gambling there that you might not get a call. 2 outs. Kevin Gausman, get the hitter. I believe in my pitcher right here. So whether Valenzuela put that on or Okamoto, maybe he came from the bench.
And now it's 3-0, and now the question becomes, do you give Martin something to hit, or do you just send him down to first and try your luck with Clemens? Went after him, and it's a strike to get back in the count.
Banking on Martin taking right there, 3-0. But even if he is put on, it's not the worst thing to have Gausman face Clemens. He's handled him twice. Knows that he can handle lefties very well.
Called strike at the bottom inside corner. Martin appeared to think about that one at least, and it's 3-2.
Back-to-back fastballs just freezing him. Now as a hitter, you don't know what's coming, but I'd still go for the chase with the splitter.
Larnach on third, 2 down. And Gausman's payoff pitch is lined up the middle over the leap of Clement. Down in center, a base hit. Coming home to score, Larnach on an Austin Martin RBI single that makes it 4-1 Twins.
He is just much better against fastballs. The only pitch he's going to hit to hurt you is the fastball. They went with it instead of going to the splitter, and that's the last pitch Kevin will throw tonight.
By a couple of inches over Ernie Clement's glove, Kevin Gausman misses out on completing 6, and that will do it for his start. Tommy Nance entering for the Blue Jays. He'll warm up, and we'll be back in a moment. Beyond the baselines, meeting rooms at Rogers Center offer a bold new way to meet and inspire. From executive board meetings to client presentations, there's a space suited for every type of meeting. Take your next meeting beyond the office and bring it to the ballpark. Visit bluejays.com/meetingrooms. Tommy Nance on for the Blue Jays, his 14th appearance of the season. He'll try and finish off this bottom of the 6th inning. Enters with a runner on first and 2 down. Big righty's pitch to Cody Clemens is a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. That's the curve for Nance. Pairs that with a slider and a sinker. Last year he was more slider than curve. This year he's more curve than slider.
See that curveball more to left-handed batters, the way it's breaking more straight down. The slider against righty is breaking away from them.
He'll check on the runner at first, Martin, who has swiped 3 bags this year, although he's also been caught 3 times.
Yeah, he's one of those 50-50 guys, but Tommy Nance with that slow delivery, he might be one that you take a shot with.
0-1, and there he goes. Pitch is down and in, a ball. The throw to second, a little high and wide. And Martin is in there with his 4th stolen base of the year. I'm not sure any throw was getting him on that one.
No, but this is what we're going to see. Opposing base stealers take advantage of that delivery from Nance, and unfortunately for Valenzuela, it was a breaking ball far to his right, so it takes you a little longer to get to it. He did everything he could, but you can see that throw tails on him because he had to rush so much. Body gets out ahead of you.
If you're running on Nance, it's about a 60% bet you're running on a breaking ball.
And a big leg kick.
Swing and a miss there as he goes to the fastball. Pardon me, it's 1-2.
Ideally, you'd like your pitchers to be around 1.3 seconds with their delivery to the plate. And I think with Tommy, oftentimes it's more like 1.5 and sometimes in the 1.6 neighborhood. So the catcher just does not have a chance. Even a good arm like Valenzuela, whose pop time can be around 1.9.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, however, to end the inning and strand the runner on second. The Twins, though, score a pair in the 6th and take a 4-1 lead to the 7th. Baseball can be a funny sport, and if you look back 1 year ago today, the Toronto Blue Jays are not in a very different position than they are right now. They're tied for 3rd or 4th in their division. They're 14-16. Even if you get a little bit more granular, like their swing rates and their chase rate and their quality of contact, a lot of things are similar. I guess the big difference is they weren't necessarily dealing with the sheer magnitude of injuries that they are to start the year this year. But that team in 2025, after starting 14-16, well, they just went 80-52 the rest of the year to finish with 94 wins.
It is a marathon indeed. Blue Jays right now just nestled with that little sloppy middle ground, just trying to fight to be 500 here early on. Tampa Bay's really made some moves early in this season, along with the Yankees atop the AL East. So it's going to be tough. It's a tough division to say that we can claw back, but it is. We're just turning that calendar over to May tomorrow. Lots of time, but they need to get people healthy, get playing their best brand of baseball.
Ernie Clement sends one back foul. It's 2-2. Former Blue Jay and former Dodger Anthony Banda getting hot. Clement lifts one to left center field, charging Buxton. He'll pull up. It's down for a base hit. Ernie Clement starts off the 7th the right way as the Blue Jays look to claw back into this game.
Good guy to get things going. Just a little soft serve into shallow center field out front of that off-speed pitch. Talked so much about Ernie looking to pull a fastball. That's his approach. If he's got a secondary pitch, whether it's a breaking pitch or changeup, he may be out front. Those are little accidents, but those are good ones that drop in shallow center field.
You make a lot of contact, you're going to end up getting a couple of hits. Now Jeffers will go talk to Ober. Wasn't sure Ober was coming out for this inning. His longest start of the year is 6 1/3, so 1 out more than he has right now. And in that start, it was April 19th against the Reds. He threw 102, so he's thrown more pitches than 88. But he does give up a hit right away to start this inning in a very low hits game. It's the 4th hit for the Blue Jays, and there are also 4 hits for the Twins in this one. And there we go. So he will not match that 6 1/3. That is his season high from April 19th. Derek Shelton out to take the baseball, and it's going to be a pitching change for the Twins. Anthony Banda emerging onto the diamond. The Blue Jays are trailing with a runner on base in the 7th. Anthony Banda enters the game for the Minnesota Twins, his 15th appearance of the year. He comes on because the next scheduled hitter was left-handed batter Yohendrick Pinango, with another lefty behind him at Andres Jimenez. However, the Blue Jays have made a move. They have lifted Pinango in favor of Davis Schneider to give them the platoon advantage. First pitch fastball, and Davis getting out of the way loses his helmet. Might have been surprised by that because Anthony Banda has thrown about 50% sliders, the pitch he perfected with the Dodgers that helped him break out for LA and win 2 World Series.
A lot of sliders, 4-seam fastballs. He'll sink it a little bit to those righties, averaging just around 94 miles per hour with that fastball.
Blue Jays saw Bonda not only in last year's World Series, Addison Barger hit that pinch hit grand slam, but they saw him on the 10th of April in Toronto. He gave up 3 earned runs in an inning and 2/3. Varsho homered, RBI doubles from Clement and Springer as well that day. And a called strike. Davis appeared to think about that one. It would have been borderline, it seemed, in terms of the inside edge. It's 2-1. Well, we can see what would have happened. Wow, probably a ball, but not by much. Good take there on a slider low.
This is what Davis will do. He's forcing you into the strike zone, and Bonda is going to have to come to him now.
You think he gets big here?
Yeah. Bonda throws that fastball at the top of the zone a lot, so he's got to be very aware of that layoff at the top.
Fastball to the top, called a strike, and Davis will not challenge that one.
So
it's
close.
3-2.
So close. That's the one that he'll really take a good look at. For him not to challenge that means he thinks it caught the edge.
Bonda's payoff pitch is popped up by Schneider. First base side foul, playable for Clemens. 1 out. Jammed him with a 4-seam fastball on the hands to Anthony Bonda. Bonda, briefly a Blue Jay in 2022, life of the reliever. He's also been a Diamondback, a Ray, a Met, a Pirate, a Yankee, a National, a Dodger, and now with the Twins.
Davis just not getting to that fastball. Saw lots of them from Bonda, but that one got in on his hands and tied him up.
Now it's left on left with Andres Jimenez. Hitless today, but off to a nice start to the year. 272 batter, 3 home runs, and 16 RBIs. There's the slider, the feature pitch typically for Anthony Bonda. With Clement on first, the 1-1. Swing and a miss, slider again. Back-to-back pitches right on the corner for the left-handed reliever. And now is 1-2. Popped up by Jimenez, third base side foul. This one potentially playable for Lewis, but he dives and cannot make the catch. And I think a lot of people in that Twins dugout holding their breath, given the health history of Royce Lewis, a lot of lower body injuries as well. Good to see him walk away. He was most recently on the injured list from April 10th to 21st with a knee sprain. You got to appreciate a guy who's been taking a beating like that really his whole career, willing to put his body on the line even if you don't necessarily want him to.
That's a tough one to watch if you're Derek Shelton in that first base dugout, that's for sure.
Bonda's 1-2. And Jimenez held up. Well, not only did Andres hold up, Ryan Jeffers saved 90 feet there.
Able to corral that ball, keep it in front of him, and keep the runner at first base. That was out there too.
Slider lined left side, and a bunny hop and a catch by Royce Lewis. Got it off the end of the bat did Andres Jimenez, who just got slider after slider after slider from Bonda. 2 down.
Tough matchup for Jimenez, left on left, getting all of those sliders down and away.
Blue Jays still searching for offense. They have the solo home run from Dalton Varsho, couple of hits from Springer, and then the base hit to lead off this inning. Ernie Clement still on first. The pitch to Brandon Valenzuela is inside. Clement with 1 stolen base this year. And the 1-0 is grounded up the middle. Diving stop the second baseman. Keishal's got no play. Infield hit Brandon Valenzuela, and he will turn the lineup over with his first hit of the game.
Number 4, George Springer.
Well, you don't have to hit it hard. Oftentimes it's where you hit it. You see the second baseman's playing right behind the bag there. Shortstop way over now. He went for the baseball. If he goes for the bag, maybe they got a force, but either way, it looks like Valenzuela's got himself an infield hit.
And that sets up George Springer to come up to the plate as the tying run. Andrew Morris, the rookie, will enter for the Twins when we come back. Blue Jays with the tying run up, 4-1 Twins in the 7th. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Opener of the 4-game set in Minnesota. The Blue Jays trail at 4-1, but with 2 hits in this 7th and now 2 outs, George Springer comes up as the tying run against rookie 24-year-old right-hander from New York City, Andrew Morris.
Pitching in just his 5th big league game. He faced the Blue Jays back on April 12th at the Rogers Center. He pitched 3 innings in relief of Taj Bradley.
That was his major league debut. And his first pitch is bounced in there, ball 1. There's far less of a hierarchy with the Twins bullpen this year than, let's say, the Blue Jays in terms of who are the leverage guys and who aren't, and who gets the 9th inning and who doesn't. And so some guys are getting some opportunities right now. This is a huge spot for the rookie Morris. Now he is a top 30 ranked prospect in their system, and he's got a very live arm. Sits about 96 miles an hour on his 4-seam fastball.
Sweeper, cutter, sinker, curve, lots of options.
He's missed low with sweeper and a cutter so far. His 2-0. Springer pops it up. Foul first base side. Jeffers giving it a look, but that's into the 4th row.
It's kind of tryout camp for Derek Shelton's relievers right now. They've had all kinds of troubles late in ball games with the bullpen. It has been a big issue, and there's really just no closer right now. He said he's kind of playing mix and match. He's using matchups, and he's waiting for somebody to step forward.
Twins lost their most recent game to the Mariners, giving up a 9th inning lead. Springer hits this one off the end of the bat, fielded by Morris. Thought about second, even though there's 2 outs, and then he went to first for the safer out to end the inning. Maybe a little nerves, but he gets it done. It is okay for Andrew Morris, and it's 4-1 Twins at the stretch. Celebrate Mother's Day at the ballpark with Junior J's Mother's Day, presented by Ontario Honda Dealers. On May 10th, it's a special edition of Junior J's Sunday with experiences designed just for mom across the ballpark. Visit bluejays.com/promotions for tickets. After hitting for Yohendrick Pinango, Davis Schneider will take over for him in left field. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Blue Jays just left 2 on and still trail it by a score of 4-1 as Luke Keishall takes a pitch he maybe could have challenged. It's 0-1. And now Nance sneaks a fastball in there. He's got good velocity on that fastball, even if he doesn't throw it a ton. It's 94 to 96 with some sink.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day. It's not like he throws all these breaking balls because his fastball's 91. He'll use that sinker, bringing it back over the outside corner.
He finished off the 6th, and now his 0-2 here to Keishall is rolled over foul.
Curveball more of a put away pitch because of that break. It's a tough one to throw early in the count because it's tough to keep in the zone. So much break to that pitch as opposed to the slider. That's more of a get ahead pitch.
There's the curveball, and just such sharp movement on that pitch. Obviously that one too low, but really takes a nosedive towards home plate. 1-2 pitch is flipped out to center field. Parsho shuffling toward right center. 1 down. Jays got Tommy Nance. That was in 2024. They were trying out lots of different guys near the end of the season and traded some cash over to the San Diego Padres. And who knows if they even knew then that he would become such an important part of the 2025 season, pitch to the postseason for the Blue Jays, and then be with them still in 2026 as well.
These are the innings when you're down a few late. If you can have him come in and give you 4, 5, 6 outs, whatever the case may be, just trying to keep this game close enough because of the issues that the Twins have had with their bullpen. Blue Jays could not get to Bailey Ober tonight. It's such a frustrating watch, and I'm sure it is for hitters as well, because he just does not look like that guy that should be dominating you.
And yet it's his 4th start in a row where he goes at least 6 innings. Mason Fluharty starting to toss in that Blue Jay pen. Check swing. Did he go? He did. And it's 1-2. Brooks Lee is flying out to left twice. He'll ask for time. Nance already has a strikeout. He got Clemens to end the 6th. Here's 1-2. Called strike 3. Froze him with a big hammer right there, and there are 2 down.
That's the one that out of the pitcher's hand as a left-handed batter, that ball looks like it's going up because it kind of pops up and out of his hand. So you give up on it, and then you can do nothing but watch. He knew it.
Almost looks like a pitch that slipped out of his hand because it starts going up so high.
Now, if hitters are looking for those pitches, good hitters, power hitters, that's what they look for. They look for that pop, and then they know it might be a hanging breaking ball.
Royce Lewis had to ask for time before the first pitch. Now he'll step back in. Nance searches for a 4th out in this outing.
Doing a nice job bringing that ball back over the outside corner to those right-handed batters with the sinker.
And then he goes downstairs with a slider. And he gets Lewis to 0-2, and he hasn't even shown him the curve yet.
Good mix.
Two-strike pitch. Tapped foul. Went back to the slider again. That one ran a little more side to side than the previous one that broke more downward.
That one off the plate away. He gets the chase in. Lewis is a guy that will expand the zone, so maybe you keep trying to do that.
Valenzuela was pointing down there, but pitch slipped on Nance. 1-2.
It was the curveball. He wanted it down there, but it really backed up on him.
Punch into the glove from Valenzuela, and the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 3 Ks in 4 batters for Tommy Nance. He'll send us to the 8th. Twins leading 4-1. Time now for an update with Brad Fay and Kevin Barker. Three teams have a chance to clinch a first-round series win tomorrow on Sportsnet. The Habs are at home hosting the Lightning. The Sabres are in Boston, and the Golden Knights are in Utah. How many will wind up going 7? Tune in tomorrow on Sportsnet. Minnesota Wild playing a Game 6 tonight in this city as the Blue Jays take on the Twins. First pitch to Jesus Sanchez is called to strike 0-1. They've periodically been showing the Wild highlights. That one is 2-2 Wild and Stars in the 3rd period. Sanchez grounds it to the left side, and Lee will throw across his body. Nice play as he had to evade his own 3rd baseman. There's 1 out.
27, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Andrew Morris came in last inning, and although he might have forgotten how many outs there were, he did do a good job getting George Springer and stranding a pair. Now he'll face Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the Twins' 4th rounder in 2022 out of Texas Tech. 0 for 3 today. A pop-up and 2 groundouts. And he sawed off on that looper that'll drop in center field. Not his hardest hit base hit of his life, but already his 40th hit of the season. And he's trying to start a rally here with one out in the 8th.
Another fastball, and it eats him up a little bit. Seen him handle a lot of fastballs tonight, and getting jammed like that, he'll take the base hit. Happy with the base hit, I guess, but we see a lot of those little soft serve singles off the bat. Those fastballs getting in on him.
He could go canoeing with that bat now. One out and Kazuma Okamoto up. Swing and a miss. Another good sinker on the inside edge to a righty for Morris.
He has a good arm, and that's a good fastball because of all of the breaking stuff that he has as well. Probably makes that fastball play up.
There's a sweeper. He'll pair that with a curveball. Also, his cutter has a big separation from his four-seamer and sinker. It's more like a slider, to be honest, at 88.
Good swing from Okamoto right there. See, he really, when he lifts that leg and he has that stride, he really sits in that backside and allows the ball to travel. He's not going out to get it. Good feature for a hitter with a lot of power.
The 1-2. And it's hit a mile high back of the shortstop Lee. Coming in from left field, Larnach waves him off and makes the grab. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 8th inning.
Number 5, Dalton Varsho.
Blue Jays are out hitting the Twins 6-4, but the Twins have a pair of home runs. And while neither team has had a great day with runners in scoring position, Blue Jays 0 for 2, Twins 1 for 7. They do have the 1 hit with someone in scoring position. Dalton Varsho takes a fastball for a strike. He's responsible for the 1 Blue Jay run. It came on his 4th inning home run.
It's a far different at bat than Bailey Ober, but Dalton did such a good job against Ober on that home run. He had swung and missed at a changeup down and away, and he tried to come in with the heater, but he was ready for it.
Foul tip now on a cutter makes it 0-2.
Early in the season, when a lot of these left-handed hitters were getting crowded with fastballs, I remember talking to David Popkins and some of the hitting coaches. It's like the only way you're going to get him out of there is maybe cheat to get to one every once in a while and get the barrel there.
Check swing. Did he go? He did not, says third base umpire Scott Berry. Blue Jays have a couple of relievers warming up, Fluharty and Hoffman, as they get ready for the bottom of the 8th inning. Broken bat, foul, line drive, and it's still 1-2 as Varsho's going to get a new piece of lumber. Do you think it's Hoffman if they get the lead? I mean, both are leverage, or tie it, both are leverage guys. Trying to figure out in what situation they would use one versus another, or maybe they're going to put one in and keep the other one thrown.
Yeah, well, you've got right, left at the top of that order, so you can certainly use either one. Jeff just pitched 2 days ago. It's not like one of those days that they want to get him into the ball game.
I guess with right, right switch, Hoffman would get 2 platoon advantages in the first 4. Fluharty would get 1, but it's really splitting hairs at that point. Varsho fouls it back. Cutter that caught a bit of the plate. And it's still 2-2. Morris offers home, and Varsho lifts one left field. Moving in, Larnach will make a play to end the inning. Blue Jays get a hit from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. but leave him on base, and at the middle of the 8th still trail it 4-1 to Minnesota. Stick with us. Bottom of the 8th, and Fluharty coming up next. Back on Sportsnet Sportsnet 1 tomorrow as the Blue Jays and Twins lock horns again. Coverage will start at 7:30 Eastern. We'll see if it's the Blue Jays or the Twins trying to get even in this series. Right now, the Twins lead it by a score of 4-1. Got the 2-run homer from Jeffers in the fourth and have not looked back since. New pitcher now for the Blue Jays is the left-hander Mason Fluharty, who takes over despite not necessarily getting a ton of left-on-left matchups here. But you can see the trust in Fluharty as they throw him against the top third of the order.
He's been so tough on left-handed hitters for certain with that sinker, cutter, or sweeper combination. But he'll have to handle some righties as well here.
Buxton homered his last time. Not only his 8th homer of the year, but his 8th in the last 15 games. Now he takes a strike, and it's 2-1 as Fluharty drops a sweeper in. Mason Fluharty's arm angle is lower than most, although it's gone up a little bit this year. It's raised about 4 degrees. Not a huge change. Tight sweeper right there makes it 2-2. And perhaps it's helped Fluharty get a little bit of the extra velocity. He also has put on some muscle. It could be a combination of the two. He did tell me it wasn't an intentional change in his arm angle, just something that happened naturally. This ball is lined out to left center, and that'll sink and get down in front of our show. Nice day for Byron Buxton. Not sure he'll hit again, but he's a triple away from the cycle.
I wonder if maybe that helps Mason too with the breaking pitch that he throws the sweeper maybe on top a little more to get down, but Buxton does a nice job with his fastball at the top of the zone, or the cut fastball.
One stolen base this year for Buxton. He leads off first, and it's left on left with Larnach. Those 2 walks have been big trouble for the Blue Jays that Larnach has got today. His first one led off the 4th right before the Jeffers homer, and then he ended up being on base in the 6th, advanced on a wild pitch, and was scored on a Martin base hit that made the game 4-1. Hits are valuable, but his ability to get on base anyway is valuable too.
Yeah, he just gives you a tough at bat. Takes his walks, not going to strike out a whole lot.
Derek Shelton lauded his consistency this year. Consistent in his setup and swing, consistent in his approach, and especially consistent in staying within the zone in what he wants to offer him. Swing and a miss, though, as Fluharty gets the rare chase. And Larnach goes down. Ryan Jeffers up to the plate now, and he is the reason the Twins are on top. This home run in the 4th made it 2-1.
I think this is a pitch Kevin Gausman would like to have back, maybe just located differently, but I thought for sure he was going to go to a splitter there. He's not a guy that's going to chase a whole lot, but maybe throw a splitter that carries the zone. He's just so dangerous against the fastball.
It's the second very big home run that Ryan Jeffers has hit against the Blue Jays. He hit one almost 420 feet this year at Rogers Center off of Patrick Corbin. Derek Shelton starting to get ready for the 9th inning, and it looks like Cole Sands will be the guy they'll turn it over to in a potential safe situation, assuming the Twins don't score one here. Every run so important. The Blue Jays have not produced much offensively, but like you had mentioned earlier, Joe, a lot of the way that the Twins have been beat in this 2-11 run is late runs allowed. So you're never out of a game if you can keep yourself close enough. Jeffers skies this one left side. Okamoto moving toward the mound. Guerrero across the hill. It drops. Okamoto throw to second. Gets away from Clement. Taken off for third base, Byron Buxton. And that is one the Blue Jays will want back, to say the least. Instead of getting it out, it's runners on the corners now. as Okamoto appeared to look to Guerrero there, even though it was on the third base side of the mound.
Well, I think Vladdy got a little overzealous here. He was going for the baseball, thought he was getting there. He had a little trip up around the mound. Watch when he gets to the pitcher's mound. His feet stumble just a bit. He thinks he's got it. That stumble right there cost him, and I'm sure if he'd like to have that one back, he'd let Okamoto take that, but it just went a little further that way than he thought. So you applaud the effort of taking charge, but sometimes it goes a little too far on the other side of the diamond. Okamoto's got to come get that.
They're going to call that a fielder's choice. And the first pitch to Bell is ball one. I guess, you know, it is a fielder's choice in the way that had the throw been delivered by Okamoto to second on the money, then they do get an out there. It'll be a throwing error on Okamoto. And now Bell deep to left field, moving back Schneider at the fence. It's off the wall. In to score Buxton. Around to third, Jeffers. Bell hung up, but that ball skips away. And now going to the plate, Jeffers, and he'll score. It's 5-1, make it 6-1 Twins. A big swing by Josh Bell, and again the Blue Jays are throwing it around a little bit here in the eighth.
These are the games you want to forget about as quickly as possible. Josh Bell swinging the bat better from the right side, and this one goes off the wall. But the throw in, they had everything under control. Once it got to Jimenez, they had him caught up between first and second, but Andres' throw to second bounced past Ernie.
Martin fouls off the first one. It's 0-1.
He's got him cold right here, but he short hops Ernie, gives him a tough hop right here. He hits Ernie in the air right there. Ernie fires to first, and they've got Bell by a lot.
I haven't put it up yet, but I'm guessing that single for Bell. Obviously, he's on first, and then error on Jimenez to score Ryan Jeffers. So 2 errors in the last 2 plays for the Blue Jays. It's probably cost them 2 runs. And you never know. Could Byron? I mean, Byron Buxton's not scoring on that line drive from first, so that has scored them, cost them 2 runs to this point. Valenzuela's going to ask for a review there.
Well, looked like a breaking pitch that really never came back.
And yeah, that will stay a ball. So the Blue Jays down to 1 challenge left.
Well, it is the bottom of the 8th. I'm sure Valenzuela's just taking the shot. These are the games as a manager. Clipped his hand on the umpire right there, walking by.
Well, he had his hand earlier this year on Shohei Ohtani trying to throw down to first base. There's a lot of people in your personal space as a catcher.
Stay clear.
Time asked for by Martin, granted by Manny Gonzalez. Fluharty trying to get out of this inning that not his fault, but has spiraled on the Blue Jays overall. Ground ball could do a lot of good here. Foul in and out of the glove of Valenzuela.
He's calling it a foul ball now.
Well, if it wasn't, then Martin's out, because that would have been strike 3.
But interesting that Valenzuela went back for that ball, because as a catcher, your natural reaction is to go chase the ball if you think it was missed.
Maybe he's trying to sell that to the umpire, see if he would call him out.
Very late with the foul call, wasn't he?
Yeah. 3-2 again. And it's inside ball 4. On to second goes Josh Bell. Martin takes a walk. Valenzuela's going to go out and talk to Fluharty as Joe Mantiply gets loose in the Blue Jay bullpen. A little bit of hard contact this inning at the same time, though, for Fluharty. Hard for him to get out. Just got to pop up in the infield. That should have been the second out. Instead, it made the situation worse. And then, sure, maybe 1 run should score on the Josh Bell liner, but not 2.
Well, Buxton led this whole thing off at that Soft single into shallow center field, but yes, that ball off the bat of Bell changed the inning, quite frankly. The one thing the pop-up, of course, did, but if you get Bell there, it changes everything. Some misplays by the Blue Jays. These are the ones you want to put in the rearview mirror as fast as possible.
Cody Clemens will take down an away ball 1. And now a liner foul. Bell on second, Martin on first. Clemens 2 strikeouts and a pop-up today. Takes outside 2-1. Twins have changed up their 9th inning plan now. Cole Sands down. Justin Topa, the former Mariner, is up and thrown. Former Blue Jay coach and now first-year manager Derek Shelton with the Twins. Swing and a miss there, and it's 2-2.
Shelton at the helm for his first season as the manager, and things kind of started okay throughout the month of April, but they've been on a slide lately, and it's just been a tough transition for the Twins as an organization. Payroll, of course, reduced. All the trades they made last year at the deadline.
Yeah, the expectation not necessarily from the baseball world that the Twins were going to be contending in the American League Central. They're 2.5 back right now, but the Central leaders, the Guardians and Tigers, are both at exactly 500.
Felt like the expectation was maybe to try to be a spoiler in the Central.
And that's another walk from Fluharty to load the bases. The pitch count elevated, and you wonder how much further he'll go. John Schneider out of the dugout to make a pitching change. Ends up being a tough outing for Fluharty, but you feel for him with some of the plays that were made on some soft contact and balls put in play. He exits with the bases loaded, a 6-1 Twins lead in Minnesota. On Friday, June 5th, the Blue Jays kick off Pride Month in Toronto. Get to the ballpark early to receive a City Connect Pride hat presented by TD. Friday night, or Pride Night activities, pardon me, will include photo ops, live performances, and entertainment across the ballpark. Get tickets today at bluejays.com/promotions. Joe Mantiply, Blue Jays lefty, comes out of their bullpen to replace Mason Fluharty, fellow southpaw. With the bases loaded in the infield in 6-1 Twins, and the first pitch is down and outside to Luke Keeschel. Sinker, changeup, curveball for Mantiply, who has quietly been very reliable for John Schneider after being called up early in the season from AAA Buffalo.
Well, the infield is in. This is a contact hitter that will put the ball in play.
Mantiply going to the changeup twice, perhaps trying to get a rollover ground ball from Keeschel. Whereas if you're Keeschel, if you get something in the air, got yourself an RBI. If you get it deep enough. This one's in the air and deep. Schneider back, racing to the track, makes the catch. Tagging from third base, Josh Bell will score. Sac fly, Luke Keeschel, and a 7-1 Twins lead.
Good job by Keeschel. That's your job right there, is try to get a ball in the air, and he did just that. Got a good pitch up in the zone. Drove it deep to left. Mantiply falling behind in the count on the 2 changeups. Had to come back with the sinker, and he got it in the air.
Two outs, runners on first and second. And the first pitch low to Brooks Lee. Not to hammer it, but with 1 out and a runner on first this inning, Ryan Jeffers hit that pop-up that dropped in, started the string of a couple of errors for Blue Jays in a couple of plays. They had to wait until now to get that second out. Now a fly ball lifted to center. Tracking back, Varsho has room to retire Lee and the side. The Twins get 3 runs, couple of errors from the Blue Jays help out. It's 7-1 Minnesota, headed to the 9th inning. In Minneapolis, it's the 9th inning. The Blue Jays and the Twins in the series opener. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Joe Siddall with Arden Zwelling down on the field. And the new pitcher is Justin Topa. He got up once the Twins added to their lead, but he's been pretty high leverage for them. The 35-year-old righty who works with a sinker, cutter, sweeper, and change.
3.5 ERA. His whip is at 1.5. He's got 5 walks in his 12 2/3 innings of work. 17th game of the season for the right-hander, down from the side, real side armor.
James Outman in left field for Trevor Larnach. Defensive substitution as Derek Shelton tries to lock up a series opening win. Ernie Clement had a hit in the 7th inning. He's kept that average over 300. 31st Blue Jays game of the season. Just hit his first home run in his last game. Told me he is never swinging to hit a home run. He doesn't have that kind of let's get huge home run swing. He's just, and he said he's not thinking directionally that much. He's just trying to hit the ball as hard as he can every time he goes up there.
Well, he's clearly a pull hitter, as we have seen. That's where most of his base hits are going. I think stuff the other way is a bit of an accident, but he's looking to pull the ball hard, and his swing plane is line drive oriented.
Seen a lot of breaking stuff this year like that. A sweeper that just missed outside. And now he hits one foul right side. Although he's uber aggressive, he has been relatively patient for him against some of the breaking stuff.
Which is a good thing. Anytime you can reduce that chase on the breaking pitches away, and that goes for the whole Blue Jays team, right? We talked about the chase this year being way up.
Takes a pitch downstairs that time. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Topa used to pitching in the cold weather. From upstate New York, grew up in Binghamton, was actually a bat boy for the Binghamton Mets.
Played there a long time ago, Ben.
Would that have been, what, A ball, double A?
That was double A.
Double A?
That was in the Eastern League, yeah. 1991, 92.
You got Binghamton on the mound, Rochester in the box.
Yes, Battle of New York here.
And Ernie Clement wins out. He'll take a leadoff walk.
It's hard to do.
That's his 3rd walk, though, in the last 3 games. He walked twice.
2-walk game.
28. It was like a solar eclipse, or whichever one's more rare. Leadoff first base for Clement, and Davis Schneider will hit for the 2nd time after he popped up foul in the 7th. He lifts this one out to right field. Well struck by Austin Martin with a little room. Just on the edge of the warning track, makes the catch. And that's the first down of the 9th inning. That was better contact from Davis Schneider, but he is in a slump right now, Joe. What are you seeing from some of his at-bats?
You know, I still think he really works underneath the baseball, and his natural swing is to do that. But it seems to be a little bit more extreme right now. And like that pitch right there, sure, he's inside it, but you're almost slicing it. You're almost cutting the baseball instead of driving it. Most of his damage is going to be done to the pull side. That's where his power is. He will hit a ball out the other way on occasion, but that's not where his power is. He needs to catch it out front. And it just seems like he's still really caught way too far under the ball.
Clement on first. Clemens will play in front of him, and the pitch to Jimenez grounded foul. 0-2. Blue Jays scored the first run in this game when Dalton Varsho homered in the 4th. 7 unanswered from the Twins since.
Grounder over the mound, up the middle. Shortstop Lee fields it on the bag, throws to first, and that's the ball game. The Twins win 7-1, taking the series opener here against the Blue Jays in dominant fashion.
Well, this one got ugly in a hurry. It was a good ball game for a while. Gosman against Bailey over. The Blue Jays lineup could not solve the Twins right-hander, but then it just got ugly. These are the games as a manager. You just want to pack it up, get back to the hotel, and start all over tomorrow.
Blue Jays fall 7-1. They'll be back tomorrow to take on the Twins with coverage starting on Sportsnet 1 at 7:30 Eastern. But that'll do it for us. For a great crew, Arden Swelling and Joe Siddle, I'm Ben Schulman. Have a great rest of your night. Stick around for SportsCenter Central now with Ken and Faisal.